do not have to know David Bowie's music to enjoy this album. That is a very true statement from the music.
I feel like we deliver really faithful and high energy renditions of David Bowie songs in a way that you never heard before. It's a completely fresh take that you'll recognize at the same time.
So We Trio fans could definitely get really into this album because it's very conceptualized.
It's always a challenge for jazz musicians to address the material of their time. And so, you know, different musicians over different times have tried to address their contemporary surroundings in different ways. I feel like David Bowie, among pop artists, has continually changed himself. We call him a chameleon. Like the 20th century's most alluring chameleon, because he went from like folk to like straight up rock to glam to electronica and lots of things in between. He's one of these guys who like continually readapted himself to the sounds of his time.
James wanted to do a David Bowie tribute album because of his friend Cliff Hines. This is true. James wanted to do a whole big album of all Bowie tunes. I was not into this. Dan, not so much either.
I was a little hesitant. I'd rather do someone like Jimi Hendrix. After listening to the songbook for a while, we decided to make this record happen.
Making this record with this David Bowie music grew on me, and it was a nice process of picking out the tunes and going through his discography and figuring out different stuff that we wanted to try and make our own. My favorite song on this David Bowie album is probably Battle for Britain.
Battle for Britain's on the Heathen record, which is one of his electronic records. So taking a song that's so rooted in electronics and putting it for an acoustic vibes trio definitely brings new life to the song, and brings a new fire and energy that you can only get from people, as opposed to the sound of
Computers
and computer. My favorite is Queen Bitch, because if you listen to the way he sings it, melodically it's kind of all over the place. So we decided to play the melody in the same way where he sings it. And it's not really the notes that he sings, but it's in the style of the energy of the song.
That's great.
And it changes tempos, and it changes, it's not in 8-bar phrases, it's just kind of all over the place. So I love Queen Bitch. I also love the name.
Very nice name.
Yeah.
Ashes might be one of my faves as well.
vibraphone playing of James Westfall on this album really displays James's all over the map taste and love of music. It's like James will listen to anything in the car. You never know what you're never know what you get when you are at his house or when you're hanging out with him. Doing the David Bowie album, which is all over the map of 20th century pop music, really allowed James to display that versatility. Plus, giving James like a really singing voice on these melodies allowed James's personality and James's gift for energy and melody to come through.
Yeah, you can't just throw any drummer on a project like this. You need a drummer that has equal experience in rock music as well as jazz music, and that can follow the music wherever it takes it. Jared Schonig is far from being your average conservative drummer, and because of that, he was able to make this project happen by rocking out and playing over the bar and making this energetic.
Jared Schonig on this album brought a lot of professionalism and precision and Rambo-like energy and rambunctiousness to the project.
Usually people refer to a bass as an anchor, which I feel is a bad description because an anchor keeps the ship from moving. But Dan actually is a trick anchor. He's an anchor, but he's made of fiberglass. So when they throw him overboard, the ship goes and it can move in all directions. Sometimes it can fly. And sometimes we just sit there and chill. Sometimes it moves to the side like this, which is impossible. But with an anchor like Dan Loomis, made of fiberglass, any and everything is possible.
We decided for this project to do a Kickstarter campaign, which is basically a way to pre-fund an artistic endeavor. So basically what we did is we sold copies of the album, t-shirts, copies of previous albums online to raise funds. And I have to admit, personally, I was a little dark on this idea when we first brought it up. I thought it was sort of like an online thing. But as we did it more and more, I was really excited with the process just because it just connected us to a whole lot of fans that we didn't have, enabled them to buy the album up front, paying exactly what they paid for it after it was made, and basically allowed us to make the album and allowed us to really connect to some people in a way that we wouldn't have before. We updated them on how the Kickstarter thing was going. We're going to continue to update them on how the album's coming. So I think it was a really organic way to connect to our fans and to bring them on board. On this album we work with Michael Cisneros from start to finish. We did the tracking with Michael Cisneros, we did the mixing with Michael Cisneros, we're about to do the mastering with Michael Cisneros. Of course, this indicates that we have an enormous trust in the man we affectionately refer to as MPC. We worked with him on the post-production for our last album, Capital Diner Volume 2, Animal Style, and we're so pleased with him that we decided to go start to finish. Michael Cisneros has become the staple for contemporary jazz records coming out of Brooklyn.
Well, Richard Thompson just recently photographed our latest press pics. And he photographed the pictures on the album. And Liz did all this beautiful face makeup. And it was important for us to hire professionals for this project. So So we were very lucky to have them.
I've never been painted blue before, and I really like it. It's my favorite color. I've never had my lips done, and I have to say I kind of like it too. We're excited to sort of embody the Bowie glam image. A lot of jazz musicians don't really care how they look on stage, and so we're looking to embody the Bowie aesthetic of the look being as important as the music. Of course, the music is paramount to us, but we want to bring the look up to the same level. So, with the incredible work of Liz and Richard on visuals, we're hoping we can deliver that.
I got news for you, people. This rocks harder than David Bowie.
Harder.
Way harder.
Harder.
Do you know who I am?
Rock.
Oh. This is Jared Schonig, the hardest working rock man in show business. You know who that is right there? James Westfall, the hardest working rocking vibraphonist after Roy Ayers. Do you know who that is over there getting face painted? Loomis. The hardest working anchor bass player ever.